I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
So, Stars in Marvel, Andor
Episode.
Part 1.
Yes. We're going to be covering. Yeah.
Episodes 1 to 4.
Yep.
Part 1 being like us. I finished this a little late. We got episode 5 coming out tomorrow, which I'm long story short, this show is great.
Amazing.
This is really good. I mean, when we literally just finished talking about She-Hulk and the issues that show has from a writing's point of view.
Yeah.
Exact opposite. Not a single criticism I have from a writing point of view for Andor.
It is on the ball. Like this show is everything that they everything that they had advertised and promised. It's a origin of the rebels, basically. Like it's where everything started for the not the Empire, the New Republic.
And not only that, but we're also like in such a good way, we're getting an establishment of the rebellion and who Cassian Andor was before Rogue One. And I know we talked about it off the air, but Rogue One starts, you meet Cassian and he double crosses some rando and then shoots him in the back and leaves him for dead. You're like, oh shit, this
ruthless.
guy's badass.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes of the first episode, Cassian acts badass, accidentally kills a guy. Spoilers. Accidentally kills a guy, and he regrets it immediately.
Yeah.
But then acknowledges he has to kill the other guy.
I loved that. Like
it was so good.
It was so to start off, show begins off him walking in a bar or like a cantina and looking for his sister, and he's talking to the I don't, maybe it was a bar, it was like a brothel, I guess.
It was it felt very casino-y, where it was like more than one thing happening at once.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a brothel, definitely a strip club, a bar, definitely a bar.
But it starts getting chit chat from these who I at first thought was the Empire, but apparently it's a private security company or something like that.
Yes.
That the Empire sort of hired out to.
So I'm taking it as this is early Empire, right?
Yeah. Which is also awesome to see. We've never really seen anything early
just
Empire.
A fucking mess. God
damn
it. Just a mess.
Okay.
And so what I think, I don't remember the name of the security team.
Yeah.
But I took it as the best way to compare it, I think, is if the Empire controls the galaxy, these people control just this planet.
Yeah.
At the moment. Like they don't report to the Empire yet.
They weren't.
That's what they were trying to get to. They want to be part, like the council of this planet, or the security of this planet wants to join the Empire, but they haven't yet.
Yeah. They haven't proven themselves worthy, I guess,
until episode 4. I think like that's getting established in episode 4 is the Empire just like move over. You've screwed up enough.
You've messed up. You're letting all this stuff happen.
Yeah, drop the ball.
Yeah,
I'm here to clean up your mess.
But he starts, getting chit chat from these two rent-a-cops and
very if Paul Blart went bad.
Exactly. Yeah. If Paul Blart followed with that other guy. But yeah, then they take him out. Cassian leaves, and these two guys follow him out, and one thing leads to another.
It's your classic drunks follow you home. Like,
yep.
And the funny thing is, when they're following him the entire time, and the entire time being like moments, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, is he secretly a badass already? And we're about to see that? Or does he have no idea how to handle this situation?
Yeah.
And he really doesn't.
No. I love when he kills the one guy, and then the other guy is like kind of like taunting him, and then it clicks to him like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Like
Right.
he kind of has that moment like, oh, I forgot I saw you kill him. Now I have to die. You're not just gonna let me go. And Cassian kind of realizes that too. Like, okay, I either let him go and get hunted down by this planet security, or I kill him and flee the scene. He chose option B.
He does the deed. And that's what like, but he does it with such remorse. And holy shit, like not only like we already started praising the writing, but I gotta look. You know what? I'm doing a disservice by not saying his name.
Diego Luna, the guy who plays.
Yes.
Yep.
Wait, I want to have it on screen, so I have his name at hand here. Luna. So that's why I missed you. Okay, so Diego Luna, dude. His acting is incredible.
Really good.
He actually is portraying a character that we know to be a badass as stuttering or remorseful or like just unsure of himself. And to be able to change that way that you depicted a character already in your life is pretty impressive.
Yeah. And he does such a good job at it. Have you ever watched is it Narcos? Yeah, Narcos on Netflix.
No, I haven't. I know it.
There's Narcos Mexico is the one Diego Luna's in, and he plays kind of like a similar character. I mean, not similar, but he's like a small time drug trafficker that moves up to be this like kingpin, and kind of like the same thing where like in the beginning he starts doing illegal stuff, and it's kind of like he's got like a gray area, and then he hits a certain point where he's like, well, I'm already bad, might as well just go full bore. So this character definitely he's pulling from that, it feels like, almost for Cassian's
that makes sense. That's quite par for the course of what's happening here. Like it really is like he is figuring things out, and you pointed out he goes into this bar looking for his sister, which very much put on the back burner. Like the rest of episode 1 to 3 is survival. Like I did this thing and how do
I get out?
They never mention his sister again. You gotta imagine that's gonna come back. Like we don't see a sister in Rogue One. Probably not good things waiting for him in that storyline, but I'm sure that's going to lead into this somehow, because I mean, with the writing being the way it is, I think that's like you can expect, okay, like that's what he's taking seriously. Like when the heat cools down, he's gonna start going to that again. Like that's what his goal was. Like he's not interested in a rebellion, and there's gonna be that moment of like, I didn't join this to join a rebellion. I don't care. And he's probably gonna go look for his sister, and his sister was killed by the Empire or something, and then boom, rebellion. Like it's all gonna come together, and I trust the creators of Rogue One and the creators of Andor to do that.
And one thing I really liked about the show too, like the first 4 episodes, is it's giving you that real feel, like that real worldy feel, like Kenobi did. Like you see these people's day-to-day lives, they have jobs, you're seeing the beginnings of the Empire's control of it reminds you a lot of like when the Nazis took over Europe, like that. That's what George Lucas based the Empire off of. And it gives you that reminiscent feeling of like these like evil people, like these evil overlords are sending their minions in to take over our planets, and it's like you either follow us or die. Like,
and that's what like we don't really get introduced to the Empire until episode 4, but when we do, like you're seeing these people in the Empire that are trying to move up. They're looking out for themselves. And it's really cool. And the thing I thought was most interesting about that is these people it's your classic like military experience that don't actually have military experience.
Exactly.
Like,
they just officers. They were never infantrymen. Like
and they're just trying to move up the rank. They don't give a shit about anyone else. They're just trying to get their job, trying to get their paycheck. And that's going to play out interestingly when they have to get in a situation where maybe they're put face to face with Cassian.
Yeah.
Like they have to deal with this guy on the ground kind of thing.
It felt very like how the Inquisitors were. They're always trying to stab each other in the back. They don't care
Right.
about each other. Like only thing they care about is themselves. And I mean, I guess it makes sense. Their leaders are Sith, and that's literally the Sith motto is, do things
Look out
just
for
for
number one.
yourself. Yeah, like
that's what like it like what, that's a great point. Like it really is. We again, one episode of the Empire, and yes, that's the Empire. That's how I feel. Like not a doubt in my mind. We haven't even seen a stormtrooper yet, but I know that's the Empire.
Yeah. I loved. I mean, I know we're jumping around episodes, but I loved that the set design for the it's just so they're all in white. The whole the whole room they're in is white. Like everything's so like pure and clean, and and it leads to that evil, like the
Empire like conference room thing.
Yeah, where they were like meeting, and it just felt very evil.
That felt to me straight out of A New Hope. The episode 4 when the Darth Vader has that like meeting with
with Tarkin. And
yes. It straight up felt like exactly like that. And just like you said, like it's super clean, it's pristine. None of these guys have done anything actually in the dirt.
They're all wearing these like nicely pressed uniforms,
triple color badges going across.
It's awesome. I mean, the detail in this show is amazing. Like
it really is. And to go on detail, we're not the first people to say this. Everyone's saying it. Not a lot of Easter eggs, not a lot of cameos.
No. And I like
it's funny. It works, but at the same time, especially like my gamer friends, like if you were excited for, oh my God, I don't remember the name, but there was like a Bounty Hunter Underground game in development that got canceled. And it was basically like it was the scum of the Star Wars universe. Like the people that don't interact with the Jedi, don't interact really with the Empire unless they have to. Like that's what this show is.
Yeah.
And it's so like to go back to that first 10 minutes of episode 1, like you don't even think about it being a Star Wars show until they pull a blaster out. Like that, like, and then you're like, oh yeah, pew pew.
It's a Star Wars show. Yeah,
Star Wars.
That's I think we were talking about this the other day, but that's why I love the show, because it literally could be anything. Like it could just be just a space movie, not even Star Wars. Like they're not pulling these like, oh yeah, and Boba Fett was here the other day, or and the it's not relying on fan service. It's relying on the story and these characters.
And in the unreleased Andor episode we did, which you folks will never see.
You'll never
but
see.
In the unreleased Andor episode, I know we talked about a big thing being that this is for adults. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi was for everyone, and Boba Fett even was for everyone, and Mandalorian an older audience, but still everyone.
It had like the Baby Yoda appeal for kids.
The reason, and you have to do those things because that's Star Wars, right? Like Star Wars is for kids. It's so people go buy lightsabers and toys and stuff, but we have been, maybe not you and me specifically, but Star Wars fans have been just hooting and hollering, just praying, waiting for something that's an adult, because we are adults. And holy shit, Andor is for adults.
This is an adult. I mean, there's a sex scene basically in one episode. I mean, they're not a full sex scene, but they like basically go to the bedroom and they wake up in the room the next morning, him creepily staring at her. But
can I just real quick on that? That still a better sex scene than the one in Eternals. Just saying. Didn't need to see thrusting like we're watching The Room,
hitting her belly button. And also probably the first time we've heard cursing in Star Wars.
Yes. Which adds it brings, again, it shows the age. It shows that the targeted audience is supposed to be older. It shows the maturity of this show. It's stupid, but it also shows that it's got a little bit of an edge to it. Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't going, oh shit, we're out of luck. It's these people that are actually out of luck. Like, oh my God, I really appreciate this show for what it is. Episode 2, very much an establishment episode. A lot of kind of, I wouldn't go as far as to say filler, but like it very much felt like episodes 1 to 3 felt like its own little movie, right? I
Yeah.
think that's fair to say.
Mhm.
And episode 2 just kind of felt like the middle of a movie. The finale in episode 3 is so flippin' good. Like when Cassian meets I can't remember the rebellion guy's name, but the guy from Thor.
Well, the actor's name is Stellan Skarsgård, but yeah, I forget his name in the show.
Skarsgård. When they meet and he's like, I was impressed someone got this. I wanted to meet who got it. Like,
yeah,
consider working for me, right? Like that whole scene of
was
like Cassian
amazing.
is he's on guard. He just wants his money, but then like he also is realizing that he's screwed. Like the whole, it's all coming together in such a good way. The finale of that episode was so good.
Amazing.
That fight scene in the streets.
Oh yeah,
that
shootout
was
so cool. Yeah,
like we talk about Mandalorian having space western moments. Like
that was
this
straight up like
space mafia, and I loved it.
But before we jump into Stellan Skarsgård, his character, I just want to talk about the I don't know, not general, but like the cowardly guy that's like the head of the like one of the head officers of
is this
the security division.
Younger looking guy or Mad Eye Moody?
The guy, not Matt. The younger guy.
Okay,
I really
don't
like
know his name.
No, I forget his name too.
But
amazing character.
Yeah, dude, they nailed hateable villain perfectly. Like hateable, you see that guy and you're like, oh god, this mother fudger again.
You see, I'm gonna curse, so just but like you see me, you're like, god damn it, you're such a fucking pussy. Like like you're like, oh my god, like he tries to be this bad, like when he's interrogating the robot and Cassian's stepmom. He's like trying to be such a badass, and then later on in the episode he's basically pissing his pants when Cassian has a gun on him. Like,
oh my god, when that scene's happening and then Cassian lets him go, right? Yeah. Like I thought, again, to go back to that first 10 minutes, it was a situation of he still can't just kill her. Like Skarsgård,
Stellan Skarsgård,
he was even telling Cassian, shoot him, shoot her, like and he didn't do it. He let him go, and then I forget what he does exactly, but then he basically just turns around and says "fuck you" back. Oh my god, that dude is so hateable, and it's so well done.
And the other guy, the guy that's like his like second in command, the short chubby guy.
Yep, the Scottish dude.
Yeah. Everybody's calling him the Dwight Schrute of Star Wars. He's like sucking up to him the whole time.
He really is, and it's so funny too. But the thing I would say that makes him not Dwight is that he's better than this guy.
Oh yeah. He's
actually like during the rallying speech, like
he did it. He's
pretty convincing.
Yeah,
like,
and then that friggin' skeleton looking dude was like, we need to have a good time, and we need to make sure we're doing a good job, and victory is key, and like just talking like a robot. Like,
I know I can't figure him out, which I love it. Like I want to know what his what's his end game, because he's acting so like we just talked about with the Empire, the Imperial officers just moving up the ranks. Who gives a shit about anyone else? Like they're just doing their thing. But like he's not Empire yet. No. Like he's clearly going to join the Empire. But
now that's what I wanted.
Goal before that was it just to join the Empire?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I wanted to talk about though. Was do you think he's gonna turn? Do you think he's gonna
like rebel?
Rebel? Yeah. Do you think he's gonna be part of the rebellion? Because he failed as a beat cop basically, and then
he was the only one out of that 3 that didn't lose his job. He was told he would have a spot on the Empire. I don't think he does. I think he's gonna die. I don't know how. Gotta assume Cassian does it. I think he's gonna be a real son of a bitch. It wouldn't shock me. I feel like I'm calling the finale right now, but I could see a shootout situation where he's got Cassian's sister like headlocked, and Cassian's across the way with the gun, and he shoots his sister, and then Cassian shoots him.
Yep,
and that's it.
Turns into
I
Saw
think he's
Gerrera.
I think he is confirmed for this show, right?
So yeah, he's in. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. He's in the thumbnail. He's in our thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this dude's too much of a son of a bitch. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think he has. I don't think he can be redeemed.
Now that I think about it, yeah, he just has that like that's not suck up, but yeah, like
actually, I say that, but in episode 4, they start humanizing him by showing you his mother.
yeah. Oh my god, when he gets to the door and just smacks him across the face.
Like, how damn it, the writing is so good. Like,
Yeah.
we are talking about the most hateable character maybe in Star Wars, and yet we've already been introduced to a way that, yes, we feel bad for him. They are humanizing him in a way that maybe brings him down to earth. He could very easily join the rebellion, Brendan. I don't know, but I don't want him to right now.
No.
But that's the thing. Like, this show really does leave like that option is on the table, and I won't be surprised until he's basically dead or joined.
Yeah. No, I really like this character. I mean, I like. Let's just jump in if you're cool to Stellan Skarsgård's character. Amazing.
Best character I've ever seen him do.
Probably one of the coolest scenes, and you were talking about it the other day at Owen's party. The when he like gets into character, for his like
he puts on his like
he like
and he's just doing it in the mirror to like get back. He's like,
and he like puts the ring on and does like a flick of his pinky, and then like he gets into that. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like he's living this double life of high class antique seller, and then by night he's this rebel,
the literal rebel leader. And I love like and I love that scene. I love him getting himself back in the mentality of this high class person. But then that moment, that brief second where he drops back down and then picks himself back up.
Yep.
Like, again, just commending the actor in this situation, Skarsgård, like, because to show that in a way that you're like, holy shit, he hates this. He hates his life. Like,
he hates what he's doing.
In
like,
1 second, he did that, and that's phenomenal.
Oh,
and I mean, he is without doubt. I mean, definitely he's the known actor draw kind of a thing for the show.
Yeah.
But he's really good. The characters are really good. I mean, in episode 3, when you're introduced to him, like his adamantcy for Cassian to join him in the rebellion. In episode 4, him just kind of like lying out of his ass to everyone. You don't like, as an audience member, we don't know what's true. It like he promises Cassian 200,000 credits, and then he talks to I forget the girl's name. I want to say I don't know.
Which one? The
blonde with the walking stick.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah,
I don't know. But he talks to her, and she's like, "We don't even have any credits to feed ourselves." Like, so
and he even lied about the job. They weren't even going to steal the money. They were going to steal a garrison, whatever the hell that is. But
he is such an unpredictable character right now, and the only thing I would say we can trust is that he truly is against the Empire.
Yeah.
I don't think we can trust him with Cassian's life. I don't think we can trust him with anyone. I think he is more or less looking out for himself as well, but it's not so much he's looking out for himself. I think he's willing to sacrifice anyone for the rebellion, no matter the stakes, but with or without their consent on that matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, he doesn't care. Go die in battle for me as long as the rebellion lives on.
Yeah.
As long as we have a shot at taking down the Empire.
Meanwhile.
No,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, but like, they're trying to take down the Empire with what, 7 people? Like,
it's pretty. They've got one spy. The last like minute or whatever, when we're introduced to the Imperial guy who is freaking out because he doesn't know that Cassian's there, just like everyone else. Like, they've got one spy on the inside. They've got 5 other people that look like they've been wearing stick hut uniforms for 3 weeks. Like,
and then they got a scared shitless senator. Like,
yeah. I mean, holy cow. I'm gonna real quick kind of we talked about there really isn't much in the sense of Easter eggs and cameos, and I'm jumping into this because there is really, as far as I can tell, when it comes to cameos and Easter eggs, two. One of which is a super little dumb thing that if you blink, you miss it, and it's the thing that the senator gives, or Skarsgård gives to Cassian to be like, don't leave us, like, or sell it, make sure you get a good amount of money. It's a kyber crystal, which for those who don't know, that's what's in a lightsaber that activates the lightsaber blade. Pretty sweet. Like, that's a cool
that was
little,
pretty cool.
That was such a dumb little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Blink if you missed it. The only other thing that I know of is the very important character of the story that I'm assuming in upcoming episodes is we meet Mon Mothma, very young. That's the woman senator.
Yeah. Yep.
And she is like,
yeah, she was in episode 4.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
is it, like,
oh yeah. That's like the reference to Star Wars. Yeah.
Right. Like the only other reference to an outer universe of Star Wars is this character. I'm very excited to see young Mon Mothma because like she is that person in politics that it's like you really don't belong in political world because you're still a good person, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not
she's like a Bail Organa type person where like they hate their job, but they're going to keep it so that way some other evil person can't take over where they are.
Correct. And she's still like she's in the Empire, but she's trying to fight it from the inside. Like nothing illegal, not the rebellion. She's just trying to keep good things for good people, essentially. And it's really soul crushing. It's really like she is dying at her position. Like she again, just like Skarsgård's guy, she hates her life right now.
Yeah. I love when they're doing like the dinner party planning and she's like, why are you inviting these people over? They all hate me. She's like, like they all literally want to kill me. Like,
he's a shit husband right there.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he like just doesn't care. He's like, what are you gonna? What are you
coming over? Yeah.
Don't eat. Don't get away from us. Like, he doesn't care at all. He is a piece of shit. And I oh my God, that whole thing. And we didn't see the dinner yet, right? Like, I assume
not yet. No,
I didn't think we did. Just she's an interesting situation. Very excited. I don't know her name, but I thought the actress did a great job for a character that has barely been fleshed out before. Like, I'm excited to see her backstory. That is a good character to give backstory to when you're establishing
a good amount of things. I mean, she was in was it episode 5 or episode 6? She makes like a little cameo
of like the movies, episode 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I believe she was introduced in Return of the Jedi. I think 6 is her first appearance.
And then she's in I think she's in episode 3 for a little bit. I think she's in Revenge of the Sith for like I believe
it. I don't remember. I think she did have one other thing. So
and then she was in Rebels and
she is just it's a character that's like we've seen her, but we don't really know her. Very similar to Boba Fett pre-Boba Fett show. But I think this benefits from it not being about her, but we're gonna get her character. Like we are actually getting like a character like traits, character backstory sort of. And it's interesting. Man, she is dead inside. And I like seeing her interested in the rebellion. I like seeing Skarsgård's character interested in the rebellion. And I'm curious what sells Cassian. I really do think it's going to be the death of his sister because as of right now, again, he is just laying low and in it for the money, which this is basically a bounty hunter. Like that's not a rebellion. And
that's
by Rogue One, he is like
he's full on like general in the rebellion.
I mean, he's given the direction to basically kill everyone involved on a mission. Like he's that trustworthy kind of a person by that point.
And that's only 5 years away. Like this is 5 years before, or
I know
4 or 5 years before. That's what I wanted to say too, real quick. This is I heard this on that breakdown channel I watch, New Rockstars, but this is the first time in Star Wars movie canon, like history, that they've used BBY as like a date you know how we have like
yes,
21
I saw that.
They used BBY5, which is for those who don't know, before Battle of Yavin, which is the episode where the end of episode 4 Star Wars episode 4 New Hope takes place. So
it's the end of A New Hope when the Death Star 1 blows up, right?
Yep, that's the Battle of Yavin. Yep.
So I think that's very interesting. I remind me, is BBY like on screen or do they say it?
It's on screen.
Okay, good, because it wouldn't make sense if they said it.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird. Yeah, before the thing that happens in the future.
It's like if World War One was referenced as World War One, at the time, because World War II is right around the corner.
Yeah. This guy Hitler, he's.
But that's what I like that usage because it'd be interesting. I mean, Star Wars as a whole is for the nerds. I love it. It's for the nerds.
Yeah.
But using BBY in canon, that's for the nerds, man. That's if you don't know what that is, it's like, all right, buckle up and learn. Get on Wikipedia.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's a nice little Easter egg they got thrown in there.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. I forgot. That's really and that's neat. It's the first time it's used, and I'm curious if we see it again. I feel like we won't. And I'm not saying in the show. I'm saying
just in general. Yeah.
I'd be curious if I don't know, maybe the Ahsoka show is supposed to take place after episode 6. I think it's after Mandalorian. So I could see them doing a flashback and saying BBY for the flashback. Maybe.
Yeah.
You never know.
I really liked the flashback scene. So when Cassian was on Kanari or whatever, his home world, one of the things I really liked the most was they didn't give you subtitles. They were speaking a language we don't know, and they didn't give you subtitles, so you really had to pay attention to what they were doing to really understand what was. I mean, you could follow along easily, but you had to be
Star
watching
Wars, we're so used to
exactly,
and then across the screen it's that Han Solo, I hate him so much, blah 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 blah. It's okay, well, sure, I mean, you could just speak English, but why not? But no, I agree. I think it's very cool, culture-esque, okay, what are these native people speaking, what are they trying to get done? And then you see they're gathering around an Empire cruiser of sorts,
so I the breakdown channel that I watched, they said that would actually be this would have taken place during the Clone Wars. So that would have been a separatist ship.
How old is Cassian?
I would say probably the early 30s.
So the actor is 42.
I would say they probably make him early 30s.
He's probably supposed to be my age, a little older, 32-ish at the most, kind of a thing, right? Let's say he was mid 30s by Rogue One-esque, so he's probably 30, late 20s right now.
Yeah.
So let's say he is 30. Let's say 30 on the dot, right? And this was 5 years BBY, right? We think.
Where Andor is taking now is 5 years before.
Right.
Yep.
And
Luke would be 18 or 19 during so this is 18. This is almost 20 years before. So the Empire's been around for about 20 years.
Right. So that's the thing, right? The craziest thing, Nick and I were talking about this the other day. The Empire, it sucks that you have an empire and a dictatorship, never a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
But in the span of just Star Wars canon, it's only 20 years. The High Republic was 4 billion years.
Thousands
forever, right?
Yeah.
So to have the Empire be 20 years, it's really not that long. If that was Clone Wars and that's a separatist ship, that makes sense. I could even see again, what I was trying to say mathematically, and I gave up trying to figure it out, was whether or not Andor as a child lines up with the start of the Empire, literally year 1 kind of a thing.
Could be. Yeah.
I think so. If this is 5 years BBY and the flashback, let's say at most he's 15.
Yeah.
Right. I think that would make him give or take 10 to 15 years. That could be year 1 Empire.
Yeah.
That being said, either separatist, year one empire, whatever it is. Like, it's cool seeing these natives like get around to like just freaking ambush them.
Oh yeah.
Just oh shoot, I was so ready to say it and I can't remember. Ewok style. Just
Oh yeah, yeah.
just straight up Ewok style. It's like they made it cool.
I really liked that's what I was gonna say. I just burned for a second. They the language they're speaking is like a combination of different languages, and they didn't share what the can't use my brain right now. They didn't.
I just thought a cat was behind me that it isn't, and it just drives me nuts having cats and not knowing where they are at any time.
Goddamn cats.
Goddamn cats.
They didn't like translate the kids' lines for the adult, like for the his stepmother and her partner,
like the characters, or the actors while they were acting.
Yeah, yep. So when he's like yelling at them when they come in the ship, he's like, talking his language. They were like
they truly
didn't know what he was saying. Yeah, like I think they told them he was going to be speaking English, and then he was speaking some of the language. So that reaction was true. Like, I don't know what he's saying.
Funny. I'd love to I hope that's an interview. Like, how did you react? We were confused. We were exactly what you saw.
They interviewed that lady, and she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "We didn't know what they were saying." She was like, "It's
Oh, I gotta see that.
They just kind of threw it at us.
I really liked. I could see this not being touched again. I could be reading. As a Star Wars fan, sometimes I read too much into something. But I could really see and would be really curious if they do elaborate on. To me, the woman who adopts Cassian, the woman who becomes a stepmom of sorts, it really seems to me like her character is adopting him for her. Like I really get the vibe that she is saying she's helping him, but like she's really helping herself. And I'd be curious if we get any more backstory on her. Like I love what they did with that character was awesome, especially the finale of episode 3 when the whole like it's the silence that you have to be worried about, or however she says the whole thing, and I'm probably butchering it, but like that whole scene with her after the interrogation is great,
really cool.
And again, the actor kills it. It's just great acting all around.
She's the stepmom from Harry Potter. She's Harry Potter's mom.
Holy shit, that's Aunt Petunia.
It's Aunt Petunia. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Oh my god, it so is. Good for her. You're in like 2 of the biggest grossing universes ever. Right? Congratulations. Yeah. I'm really curious if we get anything more on her, especially with Cassian being on the run. We might not see her again. I hope we do. But like, I'm curious to see if we get a backstory on her. Like, did she lose a child somehow? Like, did she?
Yeah.
Was she replacing her own child? Basically, is kind of what I'm thinking is what happened. Like, because yes, like she saved him from the Empire at that moment, but she's
also taking him from his home. Like,
right. Like, she didn't just like take him out of the ship and drop him off in his village. Like, she kidnapped him. Yeah, for all intents and purposes.
And I like the ending of that I think it was the 3rd episode. When you have that like flash back and forward between Cassian leaving with his stepmom and then Cassian leaving with Stellan Skarsgård, of like, I'm sort of being kidnapped in both of these situations. I don't know where I'm being led to, but we'll throw it up to chance.
That's such a great point. In the modern time finale, like he is leading. He's the one like driving the bike off into the distance. But yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. He's following this guy he just met. He feels like he has no choice. He really doesn't have a choice. Like, it's he is, in again, all intents and purposes, kind of getting kidnapped in that situation, but like he's choosing it that time. That's the difference. Whereas as the actual child being
kind of had no choice. Yeah,
he literally didn't have a choice. And I don't know. Again, maybe I'm looking too far into it, reading too into it, but I just really got the vibe that was kind of not okay when she was doing it.
Yeah,
but like in a good story way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also the one of the breakdowns, they'd said that the guy that was with her was her husband, boyfriend, partner. I don't know what, because Cassian like saw him as a father figure, because when the black guy that's with her.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because Stellan Skarsgård says something when they're like meeting in that warehouse place where like the fight happens. He says something like, it's something along the lines of like, it's just like your father when they hung him up in the streets for everybody to see, or something like that. And
that was referencing him.
That was referencing him. Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about the fact that he didn't have a father before.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, when they were on Kenari, there was no adults around. It was just them. Like, it was just kids.
Oh my God, that went completely over my head. Yes, that absolutely was who he was referencing.
Yeah.
Assuming they were together, which makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, wow, good pull by them, yo. That's
because that guy's name is Clem, and he chooses. Remember when he asked Cassian, like, you can't use your real name. Clem. He's like, what? You have to choose a name now, and he's like, Clem. And at first, I didn't realize that was his stepdad's name, and I was like, it's a weird pull. Clem.
What a weird normal ass name for Star Wars.
Clem.
That's what you come up to someone, you come to like an Imperial stop and they're like, hold, identification. Oh yeah, Joe. That's too normal. Yeah, you're not real. Fake identification. Get out of the car.
Ben Kenobi. Nah.
It's the biggest. I don't care what anyone says about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. The biggest loophole is that he goes with Ben.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the only normal name in Star Wars are Luke and Ben. Like, everybody else has Leia, Han, Anakin.
100%, 100,000% correct. Yeah.
Palpatine doesn't even have a first name; he just goes by Palpatine. Like,
Clem is maybe the most normal name since Ben Kenobi. I love it.
Good old Clem.
Trying to think what else. We didn't really talk about the droid. He's a funny little droid. I love it. Like, little discount bin R2D2 looking guy. Like, he speaks English. First droid ever to speak English.
Yeah. Other than
C-3PO,
but he's not really.
No one, He speaks 10 billion languages.
Yeah.
Read Sith or whatever. No. This is the first like actual useful droid that speaks English.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I thought that was interesting. I thought it was funny. Just having that normal droid speak English just felt so off. Like, I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to specifically talk about?
That's all I really got.
Then I think the only other thing I'd like to say, like, I'm really looking forward to the show.
Yeah.
Like, this comes out tomorrow, and I am pumped.
I'm excited to watch the episode.
I Valerie doesn't watch the Star Wars shows with me, except for like something like Obi-Wan Kenobi. So like this, I swear I did this with Clone Wars when this last season came out. I got a cup of coffee and I just sit down at my computer. I'm like, all right, some morning Star Wars.
There we go. That's what I'm doing tomorrow morning.
Love it. Cannot wait. I'm really excited. 12 episodes, right? 2 12-episode seasons, I think.
Yeah.
So, do you think they keep doing these arches? So like 1 to 3, maybe 4 to 6, 7 to 9, etc.
Possibly.
I don't know why I said etc. There's literally only one more. It was 10 to 12.
Yeah, I mean, I could. What, you mean like dropping them all this? Like
no. Like the
like the story arcs,
kind of like Clone Wars stories, like
how they kind of do like 3
episodes. You can watch by itself, and then like.
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. I mean, it made 1 through 3 almost feel like a movie, and then.
It's funny you say that. I almost on the other end, I thought it felt like a actual TV show, like where a lot of the Marvel shows and even like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the biggest thing, like one of the critiques being like, oh, well, if you had made this a movie, you could have cut the fluff and made it a 2.5 hour movie, and it would have been a little condensed. Like, this felt like, okay, here's 3 1-hour episodes. That's one story. But like, there's so much more story to tell, and they're gonna keep doing it like back to back. Like, it felt like a show, in my opinion. Like, it felt like I understand like 1 to 3, and I agree, felt like its own solo movie. But it felt like, to me, the writings of a good show that's going to be paced rather well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all in on this show. I think, you know, the writing, the acting, the way it's shot, how it's all on actual like real sets and everything. I think
you're big on that one, man.
It's amazing. I really like it. I think this is going to be top tier Star Wars. Yeah.
Practical effects
Practical
are
effects
huge.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think we're I think the popular majority is actually kind of getting loud enough that Hollywood is starting to realize,
especially for Star Wars, because that's how Star Wars first started.
Work.
Yeah, because notoriously George Lucas fucked up Star Wars because he CGI'd everything later on when CGI became and when he recut like the original trilogy. And which I'm glad they're starting to go back to. All right, let's throw in more practical stuff. Let's not make everything like every single robot and every single alien CG. Let's make them practical. Let's make the sets practical. Let's, you know, give them more.
And another good example is different, you know, industry or department, but our company, excuse me, but Rings of Power. Like I'm actually a fan of I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm actually a fan of the Hobbits. I know it's not as good as the Lord of the Rings. I'm never gonna say that, but I enjoy them. They're a fun little side story.
I enjoyed them. I've rewatched them a couple months ago. They're good.
But the CGI is horrendous in those movies.
A little overdone.
Really bad. Yeah. And to see Rings of Power go back to practical effects, to go back to practical like makeup, hair and makeup for the orcs, it's so nice seeing the time and effort put into something to make it look better. And
I'll have to check. I still haven't watched it yet. I got to check it out.
I
love Lord of the Rings, so I
that's what my disclaimer to anyone watching. We talked about it at Owen's party, but it is a show for Lord of the Rings fans. Like I think anyone can watch Mandalorian and like, oh, Star Wars. But like if you don't like Lord of the Rings,
you're not gonna
Rings of Power. Like it's not Game of Thrones. You can't just dive it. It is for
it's the backstory. It's the backstory to Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
And but I really enjoy it. I really like it. But like regardless of the story itself, like the just visuals of Rings of Power is phenomenal. And I think Andor is right there with it. I think Andor is street level Star Wars at its best, and it just looks great. The one thing predictions wise, I haven't gotten there, and this is where all the CGI budget goes. My prediction is in the final arcs, so somewhere in those last 3 episodes, I think we get introduced to, forget his name, the big tall Empire droid in Rogue One.
Oh yeah, K2SA or something like that. It's a K2 something, yeah.
Yeah. I think we get introduced to him at the end of the season, and then he's like a main character for season 2.
In season 2? Yeah, I could totally see that.
Because I mean, he's awesome.
He's awesome, yeah. And the voice actor's awesome. It's
that's what like
Alan Tudyk, I think is his name.
He's got to come into the show, but I also don't want them to take away from Cassian. So I think to have him introduced at the end of the season, like if he doesn't come in until season 2, that's fine too. But I just think it would be a great like finale style like introduction.
The theory is the one when the trailer came out, that breakdown channel I watched, there's a scene where Cassian's in like a factory almost. It looks like he had gotten taken by the Empire and is like on labor duty or something. And it looks like he's building droids. So maybe he builds K2, like builds the droid and somehow sneaks
escapes
it.
With him.
And
that would be pretty sweet. I'm going to be honest, Brendan. You mentioned the trailer earlier, and I was thinking about it. I don't think I watched an Andor trailer.
Really?
I think I just knew about it. I was like, I mean, I know what I'm getting into. I don't need a trailer for this. And like, it's funny because like with Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's the same thing, but I was just so excited. I was like, I gotta get my eyes on Ewan McGregor. But with this, I was just excited to kind of see what happens.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I give credit to anyone who can do this. I know Nick's a person that does this, but like, if you know you're invested and don't need to watch the trailer, I applaud it because holy shit.
It saves, it saves a lot of good moments for the theater or for your
viewing experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shit. I had one more thing. The droid. I hadn't seen the trailer. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm enjoying it. That's my only bold. Oh, that was my I was going to ask you if you remember the trailer well enough, we don't see K2 the droid in the trailer, right? Like,
no,
so
he's
there's
not in
no
the trailer,
confirmation he's in the show.
No,
Okay.
yeah, he wasn't in the trailer. They were just building something that looked like droids, and people were like, "Oh, maybe that's how they meet."
It makes sense to me.
builds
Like
them.
he makes. I mean, the whole thing is he's like malfunctioning, right? Like that's
Yeah.
why he works for the rebellion. So
Yep.
totally. I believe. I buy it. I buy it. Right. Sold to
Yeah.
me.
I'm just so excited for the possibilities of the show because it's been amazing so far.
I will say the last thing I think the last thing, pure last thing I want to say is for anyone unsure, if you didn't like Rogue One, you're just not gonna like this.
Yeah.
Like it is Rogue One. Like I like Rogue One. I definitely don't like Rogue One as much as other people. Like,
yeah. No, I mean, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it when I went and saw it in theaters because it was like the first sort of non-Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? Like it was the first
it was the first spinoff that wasn't a number.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what, like, and it was so well received.
Yeah.
And then the next one was Solo and they stopped all that.
Yeah.
But I like it. I really do like Rogue One. I love Rogue One. I think it's a high quality movie.
Yeah.
But it's a very different Star Wars movie. And
it's very spy, espionage, rebel, right. Like, sneaking around, doing this, and that's what Andor is. It
is. If you don't like Rogue One,
it's
not gonna like.
It's not lightsabers. It's not Jedi. It's not Sith. It's people being people.
Yeah, and that's what, like, we like it because it's like a breath of fresh air in the galaxy.
Yeah. You get to see like the workings behind all the the Jedi and the Sith and all that. You get to see the normal, not the normal, but like the regular people.
No, yeah, but the day-to-day normal, like what we've talked about with Daredevil and the She-Hulk street stuff. Like, it's very similar, but even more so in this.
Yeah.
And like I'm a huge lasers and lightsabers guy. I'm counting down the days till Mandalorian season 3 and Ahsoka the series, but at the same time, like this is just so different and I like it so much.
Yeah. It's a good breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's all I got on 1 through 4, but I'm pumped to watch 5 tomorrow.
Coffee and Andor, baby.
There we go. All right. Yeah, that'll do it for this episode. It's probably episode 18 or 19, I think.
What do we say? We want trying to get 50 subscribers by
like episode 25.
25. Let's 25? If this is good, we gotta say 25.
Let's bump it to 25.
We definitely gotta bump it to 25. Might even bump it to 40 subscribers.
Might bring it down to 40, bump the episode up to 25. We're gonna aim low on this. Let's try to hit 40 subscribers. We're at 35 right now. Let's try to hit 40.
Lower the standards, raise the stats.
We just need 5 more people. If you're listening to this, you're not subscribed, just hit that button.
Subscribe button. What are you doing with your life?
You're
watching YouTube.
I mean, it doesn't right now. It doesn't do anything for us, but it's still fun. We know people are listening, so shows us who's listening.
But we love all of you.
Oh yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Give us money. No.
Wow.
All right, see you, everybody.